that. I like that. Oh wait, are we live right now?
Yes, sir.
Oh snap, we're already live. Okay. Dang, I don't have an intro. Honestly though, I feel like honesty just frees up so many problems. So just to be honest with whoever's watching this, we are not at all prepared. Oh snap! We're obviously not at all prepared. This is very random. This is very out of the blue. So I'm honestly not sure how big an audience we'll get.
I think I think I can
Yeah.
see a live chat right here.
Yeah, we have one person watching. I think that's your yeah.
Yeah, that's my girl. What's up, Hannah? That's my
Yep.
girl.
All right, so for any subscribers who are subscribed to this channel and may see this later as a pre-recording, I'm David. I'm my dog. My dog. My dog is gonna be so annoying. But I'm the overseer of this ministry, this YouTube channel. This is my cousin Roger.
So, how's it going?
I put up my hand like this, like you're right here with me.
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
And today we don't have a specific topic. Oh my dearest. Hold on, I'm gonna deal with this dog real quick.
Yeah.
No. Okay. I'm surprised that worked. He's just sitting there staring at me now.
See the chat? Yeah.
We have a second person. I don't know who it is though. But what was I saying?
You just started. You didn't really say anything.
Oh, okay. So this is not an official episode of All About the Faith because they will be pre-recorded. This is live, but this is just today. We wanted to talk about a few things that the Lord put on our hearts that we felt we should express to hopefully encourage anyone who might watch this or see. My dog is acting up again. I am sorry. His whining's probably going to be in the background the entire time.
You don't have a backyard you can kick him out into?
Nah. He's so annoying. So we don't have a backyard. We still have the patio. And I would put him in the patio, but he barks at every single noise he hears. So he's just barking at all the people, and then we get complaints. It's like,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so I have to. He'll whine and bark if he's not being watched, but he also doesn't like feeling enclosed. And right now we're in the room enclosed, so he's getting mad.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So today we just wanted to share some things on some topics we felt would hopefully encourage anyone who needs to hear it, and Lord wills it would minister to somebody. So honestly, I have no idea where to start because how do we? This was not scripted. There was no notes taken. So
wait, start off. Like, you got any questions for me? Being your first guest on the podcast.
First guest on the podcast. Oh yeah, you are the first guest on the podcast.
Yeah. The fact that
I don't know if I should say
you, bro, that's crazy.
My bad. Yeah. Well, welcome, first guest. My bad. Yeah. You did not get a proper welcome.
Nah, it's all good. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Also, by the way, if you want to check out my cousin's channel, you can see the link in the description. If it'll let us do that, I'm not sure. If not, sorry, Roger, I can't help you out.
Nah, it's all good, bro. It's all good.
Usually it'll let us leave a link of any type in like the comments of like a video, but because it is a live, I'm not sure if it'll let us do that.
I think since it is a live, you can do a live chat. Like I can see the chat viewing options right here. I think you have to unlock it.
How do I have no idea how to unlock it. Hot chat, send message. I have no idea what I'm doing.
You don't have a view chat option on the left-hand corner?
I do right here. Live chat, all messages are visible. It's not letting me scroll. There's another option that I can't see.
Try the live chat.
Live chat. I clicked that. Somebody in the chat text something so we can see if it worked. I wonder if these two people just aren't doing it or if they actually can do it. I can't text in the chat. There's no option for me to text in the chat, so I can't test it out.
Yeah,
can you do it?
See it? No, I can't text it.
Oh, it's probably just for anyone viewing. We have spent 5 minutes already just talking about nothing. Get down, Winston. Get down. 5 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
There we
Okay.
go.
There we go.
That's
Hello,
Hannah.
hello. Super cool, yo. Happy beat to it. Thank you for texting in the chat.
It's working.
It's working now. Okay. So, I don't really know where to start this. I know what I feel the Lord is leading me to talk about. I just start talking about it.
Yeah. But you got any like intro questions, like get to know you questions kind of thing? I know you already know me, but there's people that don't know me that are, I don't know who's going to turn in right now.
That is a good one. Get down. Get down. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry for my dog. Get down. Stop your whining. This is so embarrassing. I'm actually glad we only have 2 watchers right now. Hopefully next time I'll be more prepared. Well, all right. So icebreaker question. All right. I don't know. Can you think for yourself?
For myself, okay.
Ask yourself a question.
I'll just give myself a little testimony right here.
All right.
So yeah, my name's Roger. I'm here in Texas. Been here for almost 5 years now. That's crazy. 5 years.
Sheesh, it's not feel like that long.
No. Yeah. I don't know if you can. My voice will be like a little weird because it's cold right now. It's like 30, 32 degrees outside, so it's a little cold, but it's all right. Yeah. I think I was 8 years old when I became a Christian. Obviously, I've gone through some life trials, but just walking through it, with my walk with the Lord, it's over. I was able to overcome it. Obviously, we still have trials, but it just gets easier with God. So
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's good. I don't know what else. I still don't know where to start. Do we just like?
But hey, we can just wing it. So like how you been, bro? Like obviously we're cousins. We've been talking, but like, how's it actually going? Like what you up to?
Just working in ministry. It's been an adventure for sure. It's if people ask me how I'm doing, I'm just like not sure how to respond. I'm like good because I'm seeing the Lord's blessings and I'm seeing Him like work in ways that are just like supernatural. And it's honestly, He amazes me every day. Like I'm blown away every day
one moment,
by. Huh? Yeah, for sure. Winston, no. Get down. Get down. Sit. Stay. Good boy. Stay.
Amazon. The old days, I never get packages, bro. So all the times.
You actually just made me feel better because I'm not the only one who's gonna have to like keep stopping.
It's all good. Like I never get. I think it's for one of the girls because that's just perfect timing.
What's that? Dang notifications. But but yeah, just like, cause being in this ministry, a lot of this ministry, like, we're very small still. We're very small. We haven't done a whole lot, but even just to get as far as we've come, it's been impossible. Every single step has just been impossible. And seeing God right before our eyes just take what's impossible and make it effortless. Like it's not even us doing it. It's been amazing. But at the same time, because we are in the will of God, Satan is attacking each and every one of us, both as a group and as individuals, a lot more. So it's like people ask me like how I'm doing. I'm like, I'm not sure how to respond to that. Like I got a lot I'm dealing with right now. I'm tired, but like good.
Yeah, I feel that.
Good, I guess.
Yeah. And it's all we can do. All we can do is just pray and ask the Lord for strength, and He'll provide it as long as we're like we're willing.
Yeah. I love what one of our youth leaders at our church, she said, because she had asked me, she was like, "How have you been lately?" And she's like, "How have you really been?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"It's funny you
it's
should
so
ask
deep.
that." Yeah, I explained that to her, and she's like, it's funny you should say that because I say like you should just count it all for joy. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, something I always remind myself is in a parking lot. She says she's like in a parking lot. I always park at the way end, and everyone always asks me like, why do you do that? Like, just park closer. You're right there. And she's like, well, I get more steps in. And they're like, well, you could just park closer and you're in the store like right there, you get everything done faster. And she's like, but if I park further, I get my steps in, and yeah, it might suck, like I might not like it, but it's working me out, it's making me stronger, it's helping me grow. And then I think she didn't say this, but I think a huge benefit, especially for people who don't have very good patience, is at like big events, it's the people who get there last get out first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're stuck in front of a bunch of other cars. So she said, just like count it all for joy. And I think that's something I definitely want to apply to my life. I definitely want to try and incorporate that into my daily life more, is just counting it all for joy. Even when Satan attacks me, it's a sign that I know that I'm in the will of God. I'm doing what God wants me to do. Because Satan wouldn't be attacking me unless I was a threat. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Yeah. So rather than trying to actually start it off, because I can't seem to find a start, I'm just gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
What the Lord put on my heart that I've been really feeling like led to talk about, but haven't really had the opportunity to talk to anyone about it, is eternity, basically.
Okay.
So a lot of people, like I see a lot of people asking like, how can God be an eternal God? How can He have no beginning and no end? And obviously I can't just sit here and explain like what that's like how that works, because God is glorious and great. He's beyond our capacity. There's no way I could explain Him to you in detail for you to have understanding of Him. Like I can't understand Him, let alone put Him into our words, which would limit His glory.
Yeah.
I can't do that. But I think to some extent we can each have an idea on it. Like we can't have understanding, but we can have an idea on it. And I think that the reason why so few people get an I can so few people can actually have an idea, like so many people don't know what their idea on it would be, is because I feel like too often people think of eternity as never ending time. Like it just goes on and on and on. But how can time go on and on and on backwards? How can God have no beginning, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if time how time doesn't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason why so many people get that misinterpretation is t- time. No, wait, no. Eternity is not never ending time. Rather, it's the opposite. Eternity is life outside the existence of time. And like I've said that to people, and people have been like, "What? Well, like, how can you live outside of time?" So to better explain this is picture a box. I'm sure we've all done crafts where we've made like paper boxes or something. We all know how to fold a box. You get this paper, you cut two slits right here, you fold those in, you fold it like that, and another one, you glue it together, right? So that box, essentially, it has a starting point of when it became a box, right? Like, so if you have this paper, you just have the cut slits. That's not a box. That's not the beginning of a box. That's just a paper with a few cuts in it, right? But if you start to fold that and you start at that end, you start to form the box. That box has the beginning. You just started the beginning of the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at like a finished box, like you look at an Amazon package box, you can't tell where it was started, where it was made. It looks the same. So that's why I have to explain the folding part. Because if I say a box has a beginning point, a lot of people would be like, where does it start then? Look at all sides, they're all the same.
Yeah.
But in being made, it has a starting point. And in being made, it has an ending point. Once you make that last fold, it's finished.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us can be there at the beginning. If you try and something into the fold of where the box started, it doesn't work. You can't fit, like I can't stuff a block in that crease. Like it won't fit. It doesn't work like that. And you can't stuff it in the end either.
Mm-hmm.
The only place that stuff can be in is the middle, is the empty space. And in like the same way, like we can't be in the beginning or the end of time. Like in the beginning, everything was being formed. There was nowhere for us to be. Just died. If God created us right then and there, we would have died.
Yeah.
And obviously, we can't be in the end because that's when everything's getting destroyed. If
Yeah.
God placed us there, we would just die. So, sorry, my bad. And so the thing that
what?
Huh?
I'm fine.
Your screen is super dark. Are you still right there?
Yeah.
Hold on, maybe I need to turn up my brightness.
Oh, go back in there.
I keep my brightness pretty low. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Is it still daytime for you over there, or is it nighttime?
No, it's what time is it? It's gonna be 6 right now.
So it's probably getting dark, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's end of sunset right now. So yeah, about to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going on with that, like the analogy or the example, so basically, I'm just gonna explain my idea of it. So basically, how I picture time, I picture the box, the beginning point, the end point. The only place that we can be in is the middle. God puts us in a certain point. So I picture this box. Like I could do it right now. I have a rubber ball and I have a box, but I don't feel like going through my stuff to search for those. So I'm just gonna explain it. So say I propped up this box against the wall. It's tilted like this, and I have the beginning point at the top and I have the end point at the bottom. If I were to drop my rubber ball that I have into the box, I can see ultimately where it's going to end up. I can see all that's in the box, obviously. I put it in there. I can see all of it. I can move things around. I have control over it. But I am not in that box. And if I were to drop a ball in there, like I can obviously see its course. Like I'm not sitting here like writing a script like this is exactly what the ball has to do. Like there's no TVA where if you don't do your part of the script, they're going to come after you. But God knows everything that's going to happen because he sees the course we're going to take.
Yeah.
See, if I were to prop up a box leaned against the wall and I drop a ball in, based off of logic, from my point of view, logic says that ball is going to fall down, then it's going to roll down to this end. And in the same way, God looks at time, this box, and he sees where we're put in, and he sees the course we're going to take and where we're going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
So, how this works, how eternity works is God's not in this box. God created time. In the scriptures, you see that there will be an end to time, an end of time, sorry, wherein we will join God in eternity. So if God's destroying time, if time has an end, but we're going to keep going, how does that work? It means that we will be living outside of time. We will be living in eternity. Obviously, I can't sit here and try and explain to you that I'm like what eternity looks like, what it sounds like, what you see. I can only tell you what the scriptures say about it because obviously I've never been there. I haven't died. I haven't died, so I don't know what eternity's like. But to give you an idea, it's just like it's a box that obviously none of us will ever be able to see out of. Not until we leave the box will we be able to understand it. But when we do, like you see that time is just a box. Like it's the reason why God can live in eternity. He has no beginning, is no end, is because he created time. Why he has no beginning is because he did not create himself when he created time. The only way he has a beginning is if he is created after time is created. But he was long there before time. I'm not even gonna try and comprehend that. But like he's outside of this box. He's not limited to the contents of this box. He can see all that happens inside. He can stick his hand in. He could do whatever he wants. He's not in the box. Obviously, if I make a paper box right now and I show you, if I can show you this paper box, if I can lift it up, obviously I can't fit in there. My size is too great. I am too great to be in that paper box. In the same way, God is too great to be limited to time. God is too great to have a beginning, to have an end. And so for that reason, like I feel like that's why so many people get this misinterpretation that God, is just forever living in time. Like eternity is not forever time. Eternity is not unending time. It's the opposite. It's life outside of time. It's life without the existence of time even. So I just feel like that's something that I've been really led to talk about because I feel like too many people get that misinterpretation of what eternity is. Eternity has nothing to do with time.
Yeah.
And obviously we can't comprehend that again because we're born into this box. We're gonna die in this box. Like we can't know what it's like outside the box until we get there. So obviously we're never going to be able to comprehend it, and I'm not going to even try and make anybody comprehend it. But just to give anybody who struggles with that an idea, just think of it like that. Realize that we're all in a box. God's not in the box. Eternity is the outside of the box that we have never been in, and that we will only be in if we accept Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior, and then we either get raptured or we die. Two ways to get there, but that's what eternity is. So
Yeah, that's good. I think from what I got from that, I got two things. I'm gonna see. Hopefully,
oh no, your screen froze again. Did you switch screens? Oh, your audio's gone too. You still there?
yeah, I'm still here.
You're back. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard you. I can hear everything. I have to
Oh,
find the specific thing so I can read it.
oh okay. After this live, I'm gonna need you to show me how you're doing that because the last time I switched screens, it froze permanently. I couldn't get it to fix. My dog's asleep. I'm just gonna chill here till you get back. I want to take a screenshot so bad because your picture is frozen, and you're just making a face in the camera. I wonder if I can respond to the chat. Can I respond? Add as a moderator. Put user in time.
All right, I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see motion.
Okay, I think it should like go back to normal. Eventually.
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 I just found out I can put, if anyone's like ever spamming on these lives, I can put them in a timeout, bro. I clicked on this message right here. No, it's glitching. Wait, okay. I can put user in timeout. I could hide the user from the channel. I can add them as a moderator. What that means, I can report them, remove them, pin their message.
There we go.
There you go. You're back.
So, what I got from that is that when you were talking about like arts and crafts, that kind of reminded me of like what you were talking about. This quote. It says, "You don't need to know, or you don't need to meet the painter if there is a painting. The painting says there is a painter. That is, God has painted His presence over His creation. You know, so wait, like how you're saying, like we're in a box, and there's no time. Um, we know that His presence is here. Where um, His I'm trying to word it.
No, yeah, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the audios from the first episode of the podcast.
Yeah,
dude. I know. I get it. I get it.
Like you said, like we only have a limited amount of time on this earth, and we can only praise and give Him thanks for what He did give us on this time that we have on earth. It's up to us
Yeah.
to know what we're going to do with it. And like you said, we can
Yeah.
either go to heaven or we can get raptured to a different place. There's because I was going to say the second thing is I believe we have not only one path, we have two paths: our way or His way.
Yeah.
So, and not until it's time for Him to take us out of that box to be with Him, you know, like we got to make do with what we have now and with this time. And like even now, we can't comprehend, like, you know, like I said, we can't comprehend time. We can't comprehend eternity is because I think what I like to think is that God had put a block on our brain to not go too far into the knowledge, so that way we can experience it later in life. We can experience it in heaven. Like
Yeah.
if we experience it now, what good is it going to be later on? You know, if I try and that's why we say in heaven we're going to meet animals that we never knew. In heaven we're going to do this. Well, if we had that here on earth, then what good is heaven? You know, where's the joy in
Mm,
heaven because we have it here?
yeah.
So um, I think, yeah, like I like it's just crazy how like it's hard to fathom like eternity. Like we get to experience this. There's nothing's gonna get old in heaven. We're just gonna keep on moving to
Yeah.
the next adventure. We're gonna keep on moving to the next thing, and we're not gonna get bored. And it's just like then like he gets to take us out of that box, like you were saying, and like I said before, we have two paths: our road, our path, and that's only lead us to whatever direction we have mentally. But it's up to him to take us out of that box and put us on that direction, cardboard direction that you were saying, and take us to the path that he wants us to go down on. Not only then is when he can take us out of that path and bring us up to his world that
Yeah.
he created for us. And
Yeah.
I think um, time, like I said, we don't know where Jesus came from. We don't know where God came from. We don't know anything past of when He said, "Let there be light." Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I just think that's just it's just because of how powerful and almighty He is. Like He doesn't need an
Yeah.
explanation of why He came. He's just here. That's
Yeah.
how like there's no words to describe in general why He's even letting us live right here, right now in the first place. Um, so I think that's my stance is like I think He put us on a certain level of understanding for now until we're in that time of we're in his presence. Okay, now I get it. I get why this happened the way it happened. I get how it all started, and I know now how it's all going to end.
Yeah.
And I can only like imagine like our grandfather passed away 2 years
Yeah.
ago, and it's just like wow, like he's getting to understand everything right now as we speak in heaven. Like he understands what it was like in the beginning. People that has been in the beginning, he's able to talk to them now. So it's just like I said, it's only up to the people that God has taken home that will understand what we can't on down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, thank you for saying all that you just said, because one like that actually didn't minister to me, but like you just sparked so many different ways we can go with this conversation now. So just some responses to some of the things you're saying, just like how you were saying before, when you were talking about like the path, the two paths.
Mm-hmm.
Just something I want to clarify is something I hear a lot, like especially it pops up in my feed. Like I watch YouTube Shorts a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and something I hear a lot of like atheists say, or just people who just non-believers in general, is they'll be like, "Oh, well, if God knows everything, He knows every decision you're gonna make, and He's like deciding and He's in control. Do we really have free will?" And something I want to point out is that God's not sitting here writing a script. Like I said, but like before, there's no like, it's not like like the Marvel show Loki. There's no TVA gonna come after you if you don't follow the script that was assigned to you.
Mm-hmm.
See, God just knows the course you're gonna take. You see, if from the perspective outside of the box, I can see everything that's in the box. I can see the placement of everything in the box, and God is only responsible for putting you in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Once you are in the box, He can see the course you're going to take. He can see where you're going to end up, but He is not responsible for that. And I think he will put His hand in there sometimes, but He will only do that not to change anyone's course, but to use the mistakes of our course for His good and His glory.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I like what Hannah said. Exactly, that's exactly it. When Moses in the fiery furnace said, "Who are you?" All he said was, "I am who I am." He
I
doesn't need
am who I
anything
am.
else after that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, I like that. But that actually, you just reminded me of what I was gonna say next, because I forgot what I was gonna say next. But what you're saying, how he doesn't need an explanation. He doesn't need to explain himself. He doesn't need to make himself clear. We don't deserve to know why we're on this earth. But I think something is that um to some extent, God is so gracious and loving and kind. Even though we are so unworthy and so undeserving of that, He will actually reveal His will to us if we are faithful and we are actually praying to Him to reveal it to us. He wants to. Like He says, whatever you ask in my name, I will give to you. Seek first the kingdom of my righteousness, and then all these things will be added to you. And I think it's just honestly, just in my life personally, I can't speak for everybody. I can't speak for every person in the world, but I know that personally, when the Lord has revealed His will for a portion of my life, not all my life. I'm not gonna say like I know everything that's gonna happen in my life, but the Lord has revealed a portion of His will for my life. And honestly, seeing it play out after He showed me, um, it's mind blowing because each and every day I see like what He told me play out, and they might dog it. He's awake again. But just seeing it play out, like I was even just thinking about this before I even had the idea of like starting a live right now. I was just thinking about this. I was in the kitchen, I was eating, and I was just thinking like, I am so undeserving of all that God has revealed to me, because God has been talking to me so much lately. It's honestly insane, because He talks to me, and I'm not just talking like I read the scriptures and like that. I could use that verse. I could apply that to my life. Like, yeah, like when I read the scriptures, I see that, but He talks to me in such a way where He talks to my heart directly. Like, yeah, sometimes it's through the scriptures, but there's a lot of times, and I'm talking like on a daily basis, where He just touches my heart and He talks to my heart directly. And I think if you take a step of faith, like I want to point out that God wasn't always doing this for me. Like He wasn't always just talking directly to my heart, revealing His will for me. If you want to, if you want the Lord to reveal His will for your life, if you want Him to reveal Himself even in your life, you first have to take a step of faith. And I've been asked before, like, well, doesn't that mean we have to take the first step? Doesn't that mean we have to do the work? Actually, no. You see, if you let's say God's having a party. I want to see the party host, right? I have to accept the invitation. I have to accept the invitation and attend. I have to take that step. But what was the first step? That was from the host who invited me. And that invitation was Jesus Christ. That invitation was Him dying on the cross and resurrecting. That's the invitation. Have faith in that. Have faith in the fact that that's true. Get into the word, get into prayer, get into worship. Take that step of faith, even when you don't want to, even when you don't believe. And when you take that step of faith, you accept the invitation, then you will see the host. Then you will see what the party is about. And you will see everything playing out. And honestly, like you know me, like I was raised in a Christian household. I've always believed in God, and I've always had a form of respect for God. Like at church, like, behave, don't be disrespectful. That's God's house. Like I've always had that form of respect, but it wasn't up until maybe like a few years ago I actually took the steps of know God better. Um, worshiping when I don't feel like it. I hate singing, but like just worshiping in those times of like not wanting to and disbelief, but taking that step of faith ever since then. And as I increasingly do it each day, I see Him reveal Himself more each day. So I think, like, yeah, like God doesn't have to explain a thing. God is not, He's not forced. We have no right to know his glorious plan. We have no right to know even a glimpse of His eternal perfect plan. But if you take a step of faith, if you accept that invitation, He will actually begin to reveal His perfect will for your life, and He will show you a glimpse of His face. And so, like, that's just like what you said. Like, that made me think of that. And then, what was the last thing you were saying? The last thing you were saying. Stop it, Winston. Get down. This dog is distracting me so much. Get down. Stop it. Sit on. Oh my dearest. I can't remember what I was gonna say now. And then you were talking about. Oh yeah. So you were talking about how we're never gonna get bored in heaven, and I wanna point out how true that is for anyone who genuinely pursues God with longing, because honestly, before I actually started to pursue God and have a relationship with Him, I felt the same way. Because like hearing the scriptures or like being in church, you have to read, right? They put a Bible in front of you, they open it up, they're like, all right, read along. So reading along, I still heard the scriptures and just like hearing like, when we get to heaven, we're gonna for all of eternity, we're gonna be worshiping God. Like, what does that look like? Am I gonna be bowing down like every 5 seconds? Like, I don't want to live like that. And honestly, like I don't believe that that's what heaven's going to be like. I mean, even in the scriptures, you see that Jesus said that He will not eat or drink of the vine until He does again with all His followers. So obviously, there's going to be feasting in heaven, which I'm glad about because I don't ever want to give up food. I don't ever want to give up food. But I think now coming to this point of where like my life is all for God right now. Like honestly, like I sold my game console. I stopped watching TV. I have 0 games on my phone. I have no social media. I emptied out my savings account, which it hurt. It hurt. I emptied out my savings account and that hurt because that was going to go towards a car. But I think making all those sacrifices, because I used to pray before I actually was like genuinely pursuing God, because I've always had a sense of myself. Like I've always known myself. I've known one, I'm very doubtful. I doubt everything. I don't trust anything. And when I do make a choice to trust something, I always second guess my choice to trust something. And like, I'm not like very genuine. I wasn't like very genuine in a lot. And so just praying that, I would trust the Lord more, that I would grow with Him more. Hold on, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second, my bad.
No, it's all good.
Hold on, wait. What was I saying right before I switched?
You doubt a lot.
Doubt a lot. So doubting a lot. I'm so sorry.
You second guess.
Again, this is why I need notes. But like, so I'm retracing my steps. Sorry, give me a second. I'm retracing my steps. I'm re-going through the conversation.
No, it's all good.
So talking about, we're going through that, and then so like I'm just gonna try and sorry, I completely forgot literally like everything I just said. So I'm just gonna try and start over. So basically, just like that thought of like, I used to think like, get down, my dearest. Like I used to think like life would just be boring, like always bowing down like every 5 seconds. And I was thinking like it would never be night. Like I would never be able to use like. Keep in mind, this is a little kid thinking about all these things. Okay. And I had a weird fascination with glow sticks, so I thought if there's no nighttime, I won't have glow sticks. But like, as a little kid, knowing myself, like just praying these prayers that, when I get older, I wouldn't fall away because I would pray to God so hard. Like I know myself. I'm not a genuine Christian right now. I don't pursue you right now. I'm distracted right now. But I know that if I don't start taking my faith seriously, I'm going to pay for it. So I said, God, you know what? Let me backslide all you want. Let me stumble, let me fall, but don't let me fall so far back that I lose sight of you. And I prayed that as a kid. And I don't know why I remember that today. I don't know why I was praying that as probably like a 5-year-old kid praying that. But it just, the effect, like, I feel like that's the promise that God kept. And He's transformed me in such a way that where, like I said, like I gave up everything for Him. And now, like, have you ever like literally done that where you literally lay on the floor and worship God?
No, I personally haven't done that, but I do know that feeling of just like a full surrender is just like it's a heavy moment. Yeah, I get that.
It's so amazing. I remember just one time, the Lord had ministered to me through this one song. I believe it was by Elevation Worship, and it was along the course of. I don't have a specific date of when I started getting better with the Lord, because I do believe that everything happened for a reason. I believe that everything played a part in it.
Mhm.
Everybody who was in my life, everybody who left my life, I believe all of that played a part. So I don't have an exact starting date, but I think one of the times where I was starting to get stronger, where I started to really just notice the Lord more, I listened to the song that applied to my life directly, and it just like hit my heart in such a way where I just fell down to my knees. I fell down to my knees, and I just threw up my hands, and I fall face down. And as I'm worshiping God, this thought of how I would be super bored in heaven, where we're going to be bowing down every 5 seconds, and so I'm like, what was I thinking? This feels amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this probably isn't going to be what it's like in heaven, where you're literally bowing down every 5 seconds. We're probably going to do other stuff in heaven.
Mhm.
I don't know for sure, but even if it is, honestly, just to lay everything down at the feet of the Father is just so amazing and life changing.
Mhm.
Because like even other members in the ministry, like I don't ask anyone like to literally give up all their possessions and sell everything they have. You got to do this if you want to be passionate in the ministry. But I
Yeah.
do encourage, like, make God your number one.
Mhm.
Like, all these other things, if you're bored, if you have free time, if you've done the worship, if you've gotten into scripture, you've gotten into prayer, obviously go ahead, play the video game, whatever. I don't care. It's not like it's evil or anything, but let God have everything, because when you do that, it's so life changing, and it begins to control your life. Because one thing that I really want every member in this ministry to do is just like let him be the everything. Let him be your everything. And you see, when you ask God to be your everything, you're giving him permission to take away your everything.
Mhm.
Like, you're praying as a little kid that I would have God be my everything. I didn't realize that, later in my teen years, he would actually do that. He would take everything, my everything, and he would just like let it just become nothing to me.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, that my brother passed away earlier last year in March.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was probably the hardest trial I've ever had to face.
I bet.
Yeah, honestly, that made me stumble in such a way that I've never stumbled before. Like, I literally, like, I lost all life. Like, I wasn't like intentionally like, oh, I want to be depressed now. I'm gonna live like this. But I literally, because I was thinking about that, I could not remember to eat. I did not remember to drink. I couldn't sleep at night. Like, I was just like, life had just been sucked out of me. Stop it, Winston. Get down. And maybe it's good that he's here. I don't know. Maybe like an icebreaker, break the tension. I don't know. I don't know. There's a reason for everything, right? Everything's part of God's plan. But just like being in that stage, I remember he had passed away on a Sunday. And from that Sunday to that Wednesday, I didn't worship God. I didn't pray to God. I didn't get into the scriptures. I don't know what I did with my life. Like, those 4 days, I did literally nothing. I can't, to my memory, I don't remember cleaning, doing any work of any form. Like, I'm like literally like to around that I just lay down, because I just know that I was lifeless those 4 days. Wednesday, going to church, like, I was kind of expecting like the Lord to like just like say something during the passage that would, minister to my heart, that would help me heal. And we had a guest speaker that day. And I was like, oh, guest speaker, this is probably going to be perfect. Like, it's probably going to minister to me, probably going to help me heal. That speaker sucked. That guy gave us uselessness. It wasn't until our youth pastor came up, and it was crazy because he's like, this, I didn't plan this, I didn't write this down, but I felt the Lord tell me to say this just right now, just like. And he came up to the stand, he came up to the pew, and he's like, when you are at your peak with God, when you are at this peak of worshiping him, of praying to him, at serving him, when you are being super faithful, that is when Satan is going to come and he's going to try and knock you down. He's going to do whatever he can. When you're at that peak, when you least expect it, that's when Satan's going to knock you down. And that sentence just hit me. I was like, that's exactly what Satan just did.
Mhm.
I was like, I was at a peak where I had never been worshiping God more genuinely. I was at a peak where I had never been praying more, never been getting into the scriptures more. And I just let Satan knock me down right then.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of siblings. So a lot of people, I hear, yeah, you're in our family. You in our family. But what a lot of my friends tend to think is they think like, oh, you have a lot of siblings, you won't care about them as much. And honestly, that's not the case at all.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, number in siblings, it doesn't matter. I love them all the same. And even my brother, who hadn't been around for probably about a year or so, like I still loved him to death. I would have done anything. And like for any of my friends who I call my siblings, like I stand by that. Like I would give my life for theirs, like without hesitation. And so to lose my brother, like that was just devastating. And honestly, like it's you even see in the scriptures. The scriptures say, "Love one another with brotherly love."
Mm-hmm.
Why brotherly? Why brotherly? Like what's so amazing? Like what's so different about the bond of a brother? Why not say sisterly love? Why not motherly love or fatherly love? Why not or cousinly love? Like you can pick any family member. Why'd you choose a brother? And I just thought about like how like I told all my sisters, like you're ever in a tight spot, you're ever in a spot where you feel threatened, I will go and fight whoever it is that's threatening you. If somebody's threatening to murder you, I will go and take them on. I don't care if they're bigger than me. They might overtake me. I might lose the fight, but I know how to fight. So there's no way that we're getting into a fight and I'm losing without doing some damage to them. I will die trying if I have to. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna die for you. And I told all my brothers, I'm not gonna fight for you because you're a man and you should know how to fight. But I'll tag team with you. I'll stand right there with you. Take a beating together.
Yeah.
And like
Exactly.
and that's my heart towards all my siblings and anyone who I call my sibling. Like that's my heart towards my siblings. Like, I will give my life for you. I will put it all on the line for you. You need a job, you can't find money, I will empty out my wallet for you. You need a home, I will give you my house for you. I'll put it all on the line for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so in a sense, like my siblings were my everything. And losing my brother caused me to lose sight of my God, who should be my everything. And when I heard that I was at my peak with God, and then Satan just knocked me down by taking my brother. I just realized like the reason why I was so lifeless is because I didn't have my everything in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
See, and so I was asking God before that, like I would pray that you would make me more passionate about you, that you would be my everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that God said because of my prayer, He took my brother. Honestly, there's perfect timing for everything. Even if I didn't pray that prayer, I'm sure he still would have been gone. But by praying that God would become my everything, I gave him permission to take my everything away. And so by doing that, like I still love my siblings to death. I would still put my life on the line for them. But there's only one thing I would never do for my siblings, and that is forsake my God. I will give up my job for you, my house for you, my car for you, everything I own for you. But you ask me to forsake my God, I'm sorry, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I won't do it. Like God, my God comes first. My faith comes first.
Yeah.
And because of that, and then because I came to that realization and I placed God as my everything, I got all my life back. And now that I'm like doing that, I am now beyond what my peak was. I now worship more. I pray more. I get into the scriptures more. And I feel like I got way off topic of what I was saying before, but like I do
No,
a lot of that more.
It's all good, bro. That's what
Yeah,
this podcast is about.
I feel like I got way off what I was trying to say before. But
No, it's all
hopefully
good.
God can use that. Hopefully God uses that for whoever it reaches.
No, it's all good. It's kind of crazy that you for saying that is because I've been reading like right now. I've been reading Job right now, and
Yeah.
and he had everything. He was blessed by God by everything. You know,
Yeah.
he had livestock, he had money, he was wealthy, he had a family, and you know God wanted to put him on a test basically, and he gave permission for Satan to take everything. And
Yeah.
even though Satan took his family, he killed his kids, everything, all his whole family died. His wealth was gone. robbers destroyed the land, robbers stole, killed the livestock. He literally had nothing anymore. And that's what I love about it, is just like he still gave him praise. He
Yeah.
still gave him glory. I think that's the hardest thing we can do as human beings, is in the midst of our bottom, like we have the ability, and we should do, is give him praise. Um, and like how you're saying, like when my cousin, your brother, passed, you know, like this quote is like, you can hit rock bottom, but we're not allowed to stay there.
Exactly.
We can't stay there at all. And yeah, I get like it may take a couple times to step out of that bottom pit. Like this is like, if there's steps in that bottom pit, like you just all to do is just one more step up. And I don't care how big your step is. You can't take two steps in one. It's only one step at a time. That's
Yeah.
all we can do. And if, like you said, brotherly love, if like you need help getting up there, I'm gonna be right there with you. You know, I can't carry you up there, because then it'll be my work. It's not my burden to bear. You know,
Yeah.
it's all I can do is just put an arm around you or whatever. Is just bring you back up. Help you out. And I actually posted this on my channel. Is this pastor? I love his words and his preaching. Dr. Wearsby, Pastor Wearsby, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
he was saying this story on that. He knew this guy, missionary, went up to this different country and preaching the gospel, sharing the word and all that stuff, and then he finds this girl, and this girl is literally living in a box. How he described it was, it looked like a coffin, because she had a
Mm.
condition to where she couldn't move a muscle. She couldn't move
Sheesh.
her limbs. She was like literally, like if I were to imagine her being curled up in a box with her head sticking out of it, and that's it. She can't do anything else. And but she said that when he met her, she was the happiest person you can ever meet. And she said that she would like, all she can do is just look up at the stars. And she had a prayer and a bless, like she would pray over the stars and say, oh, that's a prayer for mom, that's brother, I have a prayer for sister, I have a prayer for a neighbor, whatever. And she's just like sharing all this, and then she turns to the pastor and says, there's only one problem with this there's only one problem with this right now. And when he asked her what was it, he said, I've run out of the stars. So
Oh wow.
in that midst, like it's just mind blowing that in the midst of, like, she has every right to be mad at God. She has every right to be mad at the world, because like who wants to live in a box? Who wants to live
Yeah.
in solitude like that? But the fact that she's saying that she can't find any more stars to give thanks to God for, that is just insane.
Yeah.
And that's how we should live on a daily basis. Like, yeah, like we can lose our job, we can lose a family member, we can lose 5 family members, but in the midst of that, like who's the one that has a better plan than us? Him. And we can only worship him and saying like thank you for taking him to heaven right now. What a gift that is. What a gift that he
Yeah.
gets to take you to heaven at that moment.
Yeah.
Like in the world we live in, I'd rather be up there right now, you know?
Yeah.
But like we have a plan here on earth that he yet to let us figure out on our own yet. And um it's crazy. Just bro, your dog.
Yeah.
um like I would say, like, what happened to me recently is that I lost my job recently, and at first I was like, why would this happen? I'm like, right now, like I'm trying to pay off this bill that I gotta pay off. I gotta like take care of the family. I just got into a relationship, like I want to take her out as much as I can, and yet you took this away from me. Like, why would you take this away? you know. But then after like thinking about it and praying about it somewhat, I just kind of realized that every job that I've had was prayed over and was blessed over and was prayed over to a way that I would learn and other people would learn from me. The job that I had there wasn't blessed over. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't an open door for me. And because it was an open door, I can see why the Lord is now maneuvering me to a job that I just got recently. And
Hmm.
that it's been hard. It's been a rough journey. I give you that much. But all you can do is just praise in the moment that he's still got me. You know, he's still got you. He's
Yeah.
still got all of the people that we love and care about. And even for the people that we don't care about and don't love, he still has them. He still loves them as if he still loves them because they're his children.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think that's what we should all do, is just praise him when good things are happening to us, and praise him when things are down, because ultimately, like I said, he's guiding us through that path. He took us out of that box and is putting us on the path that he designed for us to go down. So
Yeah.
that's what I'd say about that.
Yeah. Actually, that makes me think of my favorite worship song right now. It's literally called Praise. It's a very popular song by Elevation Worship. It's my favorite song of music, like of in general. Like there's no other worship song or secular song compares to how much I like that song.
Mhm.
And just one of the things he says over and over again is, as long as I'm breathing, I have a reason to praise the Lord. As long as I'm breathing, no matter
Yeah.
what. See, if I'm breathing, I still have a reason to praise. I can lose my job, I can lose my house, I can lose all my possessions, I can lose my family. But if I'm still breathing here today and I still have an opportunity to get closer to the Lord, I
Mhm.
have a reason to praise Him for it.
Yeah, exactly. And I like what you were saying about, like, heaven, like we're gonna be, obviously we're gonna be worshiping the whole time. But then, like, what we feel here on earth and when we do worship is nothing compared to what we're gonna feel like in heaven.
Yeah.
And not only are we gonna, because I like what you say, like we're gonna be, like, obviously, yeah, we are gonna be bowing down, like, a lot to him, but we can worship. God gave us our own way of worshiping that doesn't need to be bowing down. We can worship however we want, whether it can be a song, it can be, playing a guitar, playing an instrument, or we can just be serving others. That's a form of worship.
Yeah.
And when we're in heaven, like, we can worship him just like enjoying his presence. When we're enjoying that time we have with him, that's what basically worship is. Worship, you're giving him thanks to him and enjoying that moment you're having with him.
Yeah.
And when we're in heaven, that's, like, all we're gonna do. We're gonna go on a, like, I don't know, like a walk on the golden streets. We're gonna have our own houses that he prepared for us. We're gonna have a feast, and we're not gonna get full. We're gonna be eating forever. And not only are we gonna eat by ourselves, but we're gonna eat with our family members that we've lost along the way, or people that have passed. Like, we're gonna have dinner with, like, the disciples, people in the Bible. And I think that's the biggest, like, worship. Community is another form of worship, because you're being a light and example of what Jesus is to us. And while we're
Yeah.
giving him thanks to the community, like, to him, the community gets to see that, and that's how it spreads to, like, different people, because then they can see the light and it's like, oh, I want that. I want part of that as well. I want some of that as well. And that's when that invitation comes in of, like, you're welcome in with the invitation. You just got to take that step to trust him that he's got you and he's not going to let you down. And if you do fall down, he's going to pick you back up.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say something to what you were saying, but I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, that tends to happen with me a lot. Again, why I need to take notes. But yeah. I mean, something I was gonna say earlier is just I forgot how it came to mind. It came to mind by something you said, but I completely forgot what you said that brought it to mind. But something I just want to point out is that when you genuinely worship God, when you pursue Him with longing, um, your views change in such a crazy way. Like for example, I don't know what was wrong with me as a little kid, but
I don't know either, bro.
oh, that's crazy. You're not supposed to agree with me. You're not supposed to agree with me, bro. But I don't know what was wrong with me as a little kid, but for some reason, up until I actually took those steps like a few years ago to get right with the Lord and actually like have a relationship with Him, like I was just like I hit it, but I was very like depressed. Like honestly, like it's crazy because everything reminded me of just everything terrible. Like as a little kid, like losing family members, not always specifically by like losing them and like they passed away, but like a lot of people left, um, like family wise, friends wise. Like I've been losing people all throughout my life, and just like with that reality, everything just reminded me of something terrible. Like especially for some reason, I don't know why, but like the sunsets, like I would see the sunset, and instead of thinking like, oh, like that's beautiful, I would think like, oh, it's the end of another terrible day. That's a sign that this day is coming to an end. The light is coming into an end. It's about to get dark. I don't like the dark. Not that I was scared of it. I just didn't like nighttime. I don't know why. But the sunset reminded me that it's coming to an end. And then another terrible day is going to start tomorrow. And I don't know why. But like I was just like so caught up in that, and I would honestly get so depressed looking at the sunset, like whether we were in the car or I'd see the time of day, like I would see the lighting on the walls, and just like every song made me feel terrible. Every time I heard a worship song, I would just get this weird, like sad feeling, but at the same time slightly fearful. And I feel like that was because I wasn't with the Lord. And so like listening to worship music that's glorifying Him kind of like brought that feeling of like fear and like depression upon me. And it's crazy because now that I'm in service to the Lord, now that I'm pursuing the Lord with all that I have, like my favorite thing to do when I don't have any work to do, when I don't have to do anything for the ministry, I leave the Wi-Fi because I don't want anybody blowing up my phone when I'm sitting out there. But I go to the roof and I sit on the ledge and I just look at the sunset. I just look at the sunset. I look at the clouds, and at a certain point of sunset, if you're out there long enough, it looks like it's about to be nighttime, but the sun stops being visible and you look at the clouds and they turn like purple and pink and you see all these different colors, and then you see like a line of like blue where it looks like daylight, then you see like nighttime sky. So it's like daytime and nighttime at the same time, and you see like stars over here, you see like sunset clouds over there. And I love just going out there, sitting out there at that time, because now instead of it making me depressed and making me sad, I see it as a reminder. Like I probably made a million mistakes today. I probably did 100 things wrong. I probably disappointed the Lord so many times. But at the end of the day, no matter how many times I fail, whether it's through something I'm doing in the ministry, whether it's with school, whether it's whatever I do in my life, no matter how many times I mess up, how many times I make a mistake, that sun still set. Those clouds are still there. Those stars are still there. Those are still there no matter what. No matter what mistakes I make in my life, those are still there looking just as beautiful as God made them, bringing Him glory. And when that sun sets, that sun isn't worrying about, oh no, how am I going to rise tomorrow? It's just going to rise. It's just going to rise. And I love seeing the sunrises too. Like I stay out there at sunset and then I wake up, I go see the sunrise. And it's so beautiful. It's just like, because, I started finding this satisfaction in the sunset a long time ago, like when I had first started out pursuing the Lord. And a lot of things, I was still struggling with my depression and hiding it from everyone in my family kind of just brought me this extreme anxiety. And so everything brought me anxiety, especially school. Like I'd be like, I'm not smart. Like I have dyslexia. I misread everything. I misspell everything. Like I'm just going to fail school. What then? What life am I going to have? And like just looking at the sunset. Like I remember just looking at the sunset. I was like half awake, half asleep in the car because we were on our way either to or back from Arizona, and it was like a 6-hour drive to where we were gonna go. And I remember just looking at the sunset, and I'm like, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna have to face school again. I'm not gonna be on break. I'm gonna have to face all my anxieties again. But that sunset is still gonna set. That sun is still gonna set. It's still gonna bring glory to God in its beauty. And I remember just thinking, like, obviously, like, I'm not using this as a reason to slack off. Like, like now I'm doing pretty good in school. Like, I'm like I'm pretty sure I'm an straight A student. And again, like, I didn't use this as an excuse to slack off or drop out of school. But I was thinking, like, I was thinking, like, well, what if I do get an F? What if I flunk a few tests? What if I'm held back? What then? I'm like, what then?
Yeah.
What happens? If I'm in an extra year of school, what does that do to me? It does nothing. It's not going to affect my job if I'm in school another year. It's not like school is torture. It's just reading and writing. It's exactly what I do for my work. All my work is reading, writing, and editing videos. That's it. It's like, what is so bad if I'm in school an extra year? Or what if I have to drop out of school? What if I get so old? What if I'm dumb as an adult and I have to drop out of school? What then? What then? Like I can still go out. I can still see God's beauty. I can still go serve the Lord. I don't need a degree to serve in a church.
Yeah.
Like I'm a church greeter at the church I attend right now, and obviously I haven't graduated, so obviously I don't need a degree to be a greeter. They help me. They don't like. I'm not like a security guard or anything, but like occasionally they'll ask me like to walk around, make sure things are still good, make sure people aren't doing stuff in like the restrooms or doing stuff they shouldn't be. So I'm not like an official security guard, and I don't do like all the security guard jobs, but occasionally like I'll share in small responsibilities that the security guards do. And so like thinking like I don't need a degree to help in security. They've asked me to do encouragements. I've stood behind the pew and given people encouragements. I don't need a degree to do that, obviously.
Yeah.
I've done the CG. I've worked the computers. I do that too. Like I don't need a degree to do that. All this time, I've been having so much anxiety over life in school, life with friends, life with family, doing this or doing that. It's all the same. I can still worship my God the same. No matter how many times I mess up my daily life, I can still go before God's feet and give him praise. And if I can do that, what am I so worried about? What is more important than giving glory to my God? And when I came to that realization, and I'm like, I'm just going to focus on giving glory to God. Obviously, I'm not going to slack off in school or in my work or in like serving. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to give glory to my God no matter what. So I'm going to slack off now. But in giving glory to God, like that also affects how I do my work, how I do my school, how I do everything that I do. And because of that, and I just focus solely on serving God, I'm doing so much better in everything else now. Like I was getting so many C's and C minuses. I even got an F on one. And then now I'm getting like A's and A pluses. I'm like, what the heck? How did this happen?
Yeah.
I'm like, how did this transition? And it's all about realizing that God is everything. God is everything. And like schooling, like if you want to, if your career is your everything, then yeah, you can't afford to take an F on school. You have to be an A plus student. If your career is your everything, then yeah, focus on school. But when God is your everything, you have so much time and so much relief to do everything else, and you can just take it easy. Like again, like don't slack off, but take it easy. Don't stress yourself out. Like I was doing like tons of like going over my homework over and over and over again, trying to memorize every single word, and I don't do that anymore. Honestly, my mom says like, oh, you want to pass the test, it's probably better if you read it twice over or read it 3 times over just so you can remember better. I don't do that. I don't care about school that much anymore. I read it once, I do my definitions, my notes, and then I'm like, oh cool, I got all my work done, I got to do some stuff for the ministry. I'm not going to try and memorize that, and I pass better than I do before. Like it's all just glory to God, because when you focus, it's like that verse says, like I love that verse, seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. All of them. And I love that verse for that reason.
Yeah, I like
And
the. Oh, go ahead.
huh?
I was gonna say something, but you can go ahead. You're gonna say something.
Oh yeah, I'm finished up. Sorry.
Okay.
But just like that's why I say like it changes your views radically because now I love worship music. Obviously, I'm in a worship team. Obviously I love worship now,
Yeah.
and my favorite activity to do is just get away from everybody, get away from all the texts, get away from the YouTube channel, and just go and look at God's glorious works. And it's crazy because the very things that brought me so much fear and inflicted so much sadness into my heart is actually what brings me joy now.
Mm-hmm.
And so just when you turn and you pray to God, you worship God, it changes your views radically.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all I have to say. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's good. It's kind of crazy that you brought up like sunsets and sunrises because I love them. I love them now. Maybe then I didn't appreciate them as much, but
yeah,
I remember there was a time where I was like, I still have a problem with it now, but it's like I listen to I listen to music, I listen to podcasts. I don't. I watch YouTube a lot. Like no, it's just a noise problem, I guess you could say. I like to cover my thoughts because
sorry,
they can lead to anxieties and such. You
I'm
know,
so sorry. I'm trying to cover the mic because there's a lot of noise going around behind me right now. So I'm trying to
that's all
like
good.
cover the mic so it doesn't get as much noise.
No, that's all good. Um,
So,
but then I remember there was a time where I was told like like maybe just go outside and just enjoy. And I remember it was a Saturday morning, and I don't like getting up early. I still don't really like getting up early. And my job at the time had me get up at like 7 at the time, which is a little early for me. But I remember I got up on accident. At that time, I didn't have to go in, and sorry, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go outside, and I'm just gonna just see where it takes me. And I
shh.
sat down. I opened the garage. I sat down. I was just like kind of sitting, like I don't know what I'm doing. Like what am I doing? And then when I was sitting there, I just kind of like felt this peace kind of. When I just heard the birds, when I heard the wind, when I just felt that like, oh, I can see, like I got a clarity, like a mental clarity that like I just like enjoy
Yeah,
this. And I would watch the sunrise, and I did that for like maybe like a couple weeks, and then I left that job, and I ended up getting a better one at the time. And oh, actually, no, I left that job and then searched for a better one because that one wasn't doing, it was just doing bad things that I couldn't like be a part of.
yeah,
And I had a whole gap of no job, maybe like a month or so of no job. And um I was just trying to get like things done around the house. I was trying to like like find some work to do. I ended up finding some things to do in the mornings, and it lost me to lose those mornings that I had time for. Now I didn't have the time for them, and I got into the mind of I missed that, and like I started getting into like a not depressed mood, just like a just like a mood of just like I didn't enjoy life as much. And I was just like kind of going through it, and I was like, "I dang, I want my mornings back. I don't like. I want that time where I can, enjoy it." And I just don't have that right now. And then I ended up getting. That's when I got the better job for me, and I was working at a vet clinic. And during that vet clinic, I was like, okay, I just got to I got to learn the process of everything, and see where it is. And one of those mornings where I had to wake up at I had to wake up at 5 to go to that job. So I was up when there was like when it was completely dark, and I did that for a couple days, and then finally I was like walking one of the dogs in the morning, and I just remember the sun about to come up, and then I heard him so like strongly saying, "I gave you my mornings back. Enjoy them." And I just felt like a peace, like, oh, I get my mornings back. they were gone for so long
Yeah.
that I missed it for the past, like, what is it? I was working there, and then finally he had me pause a certain way and just like, I gave you my mornings back. Enjoy that time that I am giving you now for this time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dang, like that's crazy that I get to have that peace and be able to enjoy the sunrise. And I do like sunsets as well. And like, I did. It's like a closure of the day, and I get to enjoy it with my girl. Like when we go on dates, we get to like see the sunset. It's just like a peace that it's kind of a undescribable peace that the Lord just gives.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a slow process. Obviously, the sun takes time to go down, but that process is just like a wow. That's amazing that how it's working, and
Yeah.
you get to see the sunset, go to sleep what seems like a minute, and then you get to see the sunrise. So you get like a 2-in-1 in my opinion. Just as like you see it,
Yeah.
go to sleep, wake up, the sun's up. And trying to remember what the last part that you were talking about. Um
Stop it,
about
Winston.
when you were talking about serving. Um it's I think that's another way of like, worship. Another way of
Yeah.
praising him, because um that's you being a light to other people. And you good?
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna turn on the light real quick and I'm gonna check the time because I just remembered I have church in probably a little bit. I don't know what time it is. I am so sorry.
No, that's all good. Dang, bro, we're like a minute and 10 minutes. No, an hour and 10 minutes. There you
It's
go.
5 o'clock. Okay, so I have one more hour. I'm gonna turn on the light real quick and then you can continue.
All right, I'm gonna plug in my phone because I think it's gonna die.
I freaked myself out for a second. I'm like, oh shoot, you're talking about serving. I just realized I'm supposed to serve at church tonight.
Let's see. Hopefully my charger will reach. I have a 10-foot charger.
Get down, Winston. My dearest dog.
Is it charging? Yeah, it's charging. Dang, I was on 7%. Okay. Let's see. There we go. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying.
You were talking about serving.
Serving, yeah. Yeah, I think like serving is another form of worship and praise, and because you're serving without praise from other people. Like
Yeah.
you're willing to help them out, like Jesus did. Like I can give an example. Like I'm not trying to get any praise or anything like that, but I'm just saying as an example. Yesterday and the day before that, I raked my neighbor's lawn. Just because she hasn't been home, I haven't seen her come in and out for the whole fall season. She hasn't been home really. That I've never noticed. So I ended up, raking her front lawn for her for the past couple of days. And then this morning, I got a text from her. No, my mom got a text because she has her number, and she showed me the text saying that she came to like a surprise and didn't know who raked the lawn, but the neighbor across from me said to her that it was this guy that did it for you. And she was like, thank you for being a light. Your family is such a blessing. I can see how Jesus is working in your lives. And like that's like again, maybe like there was times where like why am I doing this? Like I got my own lawn to deal with. I got my own, pretty much I got my own issues to deal with. But at the same time, like she's elderly, she can't do it on her own. The least I can do is help her out. And she even said in the text that she hasn't been feeling well and she's been forced to work while she's not feeling well. And she hasn't had time to do her lawn because she also visits her mother, who's not in this state, so she has to go out to visit her mom. And because she's not feeling well working and visiting her mom, it was such a blessing for her to be able to get that blessing. And like you don't see it in the moment, but like when you see the outcome without a reward, that just seeing them happy is a reward in itself. You know? And you can just give him praise and give him worship, just knowing that you are able to help others out and be that brotherly love that you were talking about. Because I couldn't, or she couldn't do it, but I could, and I'm happy that I was able to do that. And yeah, like I said, I think worship is just in different forms. You can worship however you want, as long as you're doing it in the right intentions. Because that's what the Pharisees did. They worshipped in public, and they're saying, "Oh, like that." The one example of that Pharisee, "Oh, I'm so glad that I'm not like this tax collector. I do this, I do this, and I do this." To where the tax collector was like, thank you for like giving him praise and worship, and asking for forgiveness. He didn't boast on how well he does and how wealthy he is. He focused on himself and what he needed to be worked on, and asked for help from God. And that's how it should be. Like just that time that you have with him, because then while you're doing things in secret is a time where you can also enjoy that time with the Lord. I was able to record for my channel, just like recording me breaking, and I was able to just think and listen. While I was working, I was able to listen to some studies, and just having that moment raking and working, I was able to have like a multiple hour, couple day time with him and hear him speak. And if my neighbor was able to do that, I would be out there right now. Just that's where like it's just like it's double blessing, I guess I could say. I was able to help her out. She was blessed, and I was able to be a certain mindset to worship him and hear from him at the same time. So yeah, that's what I think about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something about what you said, but before I do, I just want to let you know, I'm not sure if it's on everyone's end or if it's just my end, but your video keeps breaking up, dude. Like your audio, like it keeps, like I got what you said, it just kept stopping in the middle of you saying it. Just like a heads up.
Oh, for this or in my videos?
Huh? Oh no, for you, not your videos.
Oh,
just
okay,
just for the live, you're thinking that sound, yeah.
Oh, okay.
What I was gonna say is so like what you're saying about worship and how you were blessed by her being blessed, and it's just like again like I think it's crazy because like before we get right with the Lord, we probably we're selfish thinkers. We think, oh, I just want this, I want this reward, I want to get rewards for this and then for that. But when you actually come to Christ and you read about how you are going to get rewarded, it's like that's not even the reward that we want sometimes. Like not that we would reject it, like as in like get that weird, but like we don't need it. Like being able to serve is our reward in our opinion. But the Lord is so gracious that He says, "Yeah, you might think that that's your reward, but I'm gonna give you a greater reward when you get to heaven."
Yeah.
And I think that's just amazing because God not only does He equip us to serve Him and to work for Him, but He equips us to enjoy that. Like even just greeting, like getting some prayer requests, like being able to pray with people outside, like before walking them in, or being able to encourage them any way I can. Like seeing the Lord work through me is honestly such a blessing and a privilege because I myself, coming from probably a much more backslidden state from where they were, like them coming along and asking me for prayer is probably much further along in their walk with God than I was at that point. Because like when I went through stuff as like being like younger, like I said, like before I came to the Lord, like I didn't do that. Like, I didn't ask anybody for prayer for my stuff. But like just it's such a blessing being able to see them because I, who was probably not as far along in my relationship with God at that point, am able to serve them and minister to them through the words that I'm saying that God has placed on my heart. So I think that in itself is honestly such an undeserved blessing that one, we are enabled to enjoy our service to God, And then on top of enjoying that, and on top of feeling like service to the Lord is our reward, we get another reward when we get to the kingdom of heaven. So
Yeah,
honestly, that's just, it blows my mind.
yeah. I remember another thing that Pastor or Dr. Wearsby said.
Warren Worsby?
Warren Worsby, yes. What he said is that kind of like what the Pharisees did, and what some people do now, is that they look for the reward now and the blessing now. But in reality, if you get the blessing now, you're not going to get it in heaven.
Yeah.
If you're looking for that reward, if you're looking for that praise, you're gonna all that stuff. If you get it now in this lifetime, you're not going to get it in heaven because you already got it. There's no such thing as the same blessing twice. There can be similar blessings, but there's only one gift per season in your life, and if you get that blessing now, that's it. You can't get that in heaven. That's why it is worth to, like you said, wait till the rewards is in heaven, because when you're here on earth, you can only do so much, until the Lord is gonna, obviously he's gonna, like how I heard that he's on his, like, he goes in heaven, he's looking at the gift shop, picks up what he wants, wraps it, and then he sends it. That's it. That blessing's sent to you already. That's off the shelf. So, but the greater gift and blessing is that when we get to heaven, he's gonna give us that crown of, well done. You did what I asked you to do. I asked you to love and believe and trust my words, and you did that to other people, and you were that light. If we get that crown now, what special is it going to be when we get to heaven? So it's better to do that path that the Lord set us on, and do things in secret, because He's watching ultimately, and He's gonna bless it in His own timing, and the biggest reward is gonna be in heaven.
Yeah. So I don't have anything to respond to that with. Is there anything you want to say
to end this off?
Yeah, probably to end this off. I mean, we've been on for an hour and a half now, so
almost, yeah.
Hour 26 minutes.
No, this is your podcast. However you want to end it, it's up to you.
I don't have anything I specifically to end with. I mean, like I said before, this was not at all planned. This was just out of the blue. Felt led by the Lord to talk about this, so it's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just wing it.
Yeah.
Like normally, I would not have my dog in the room with me while he's whining and barking.
Nah, it's all good. But yeah, thank you for having me. It was like, I didn't know. Again, I didn't know how this was gonna go. This is my first podcast I've ever done, first live I've ever done. But yeah, it was such a pleasure to be able to, talk to you and share what what you had to say and what I had to say. It was just a blessing overall. So yeah, thank you for that.
It was a blessing to have you, man. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea why the Lord led me to specifically request you. I mean, there's probably a ton of other people, but that I could have and should have gone to, considering they're a part of the podcasting marriage. I didn't consult anybody. I'm probably gonna hear from that later on. But but honestly, yeah, it was a blessing to have you on here, and just be able to have this this talk about God and just about the scriptures and just about life. So yeah. For anybody who sees this, who's watching on the pre-recorded version, we will most likely have Roger's link in the comments. If not, you can find his link on my personal channel, which my personal channel is linked in this channel. So you can go to our channel description, click on my channel, then go on my channel description, and then click on his channel. Yeah, you can find him that way. Or you could just search up his handlebar. It's at Sound of the Sword. That is your handlebar, right? At Sound of the Sword?
The Sound of the Sword, yes.
Yeah. And he has some good content. Just starting out, I believe, right?
What's up?
I thought that was my side real quick. I was like, wait a minute. How did my mom come out of the closet?
Wait, what'd you say?
You're just starting out, right? You're just starting making your videos.
I'm sorry, I can't hear that last part. I gotta put my volume up. What'd you say?
You just you just started making your videos, your shorts.
Yeah, I started. When did I start? I think I started last month, and it's just basically me. The times where I am either in a state of mind of just in that presence with Him, my quiet time, if you will.
Yeah.
If it's just me sitting there enjoying nature, if it's me raking the yard, if it's me like at the park, I just pop up my thing and just record me having that moment. And whatever service that I'm listening to at that moment or stands out to me that Lord's saying to like clip that, then I just put it in behind of what that quiet time I'm having posted. And that's that's basically what my channel is about. Is
Yeah.
sharing what stands out to me because I know it's gonna stand out. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, we're gonna try and link your channel in the comments. If we can't get it in the comments, there's the other way. You can find his channel by clicking our channel description, going on my channel description, then clicking his channel. So,
and thank you, Hannah, for the only one commenting on this live.
I know she's like, how many comments is that? Is that like 5 or 4?
I think there's 4 of them.
Yeah. Thankfully, though, there wasn't a lot of people who were here during the live. As we only have 4 right now. I only say thankfully because of how unprepared we were.
It's all
Dude, the pressure would have been a lot more if we had like all like 200 subscribers watching us.
Yeah, but hey, it's all for a reason. They can still watch it once it uploads on YouTube. They can still watch it pre-recorded.
Yeah, they can watch it as a pre-recorded version. Be sure to check out our other content. Be sure to check out my cousin's content. Hopefully this encouraged you, and we're gonna end this live. Then you and I could close out in prayer.
For sure.
All right. So, just a reminder to everybody: always remember to worship in song and action, and in spirit and truth. Peace. It's not working. Most awkward peace out ever. Oh.
Dang, what a way to go out.
What a way to go out.